Blindado Silva. And look, he's in the house. Kamaru Usman, Corey Sandhagen.
We've officially had the best thing in Iowa since Caitlin Clark. UFC Des Moines has happened over the past weekend, and we're here to talk about the main event and the co-main event and some other stuff in the MMA world. So without further ado, I say we hop right into this main event and talk about Corey Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. And for those who might have missed it, Corey Sandhagen was dominant in his TKO victory over Figgy. TKOs him in round 2 after he kind of injured Figgy's knee, and really like what was a 50-50 type of transition. And like that was impressive in itself because for one, Corey Sandhagen has just improved his ground game dramatically. I mean, you think about a few years ago at UFC 250 how easily Aljamain Sterling submitted him versus now against a guy like Figgy who's a really good grappler, and he manages to finish him on the ground. And he doesn't even finish him in like a super dominant position. He finishes him in like one of those 50-50 scrambling transitions. And that's like really impressive to me, honestly. And I really salute Corey Sandhagen for improving his grappling that much, because it seems like he's actually better than ever at this point. And I would personally like to see him fight for the title next, but we'll get to that soon. But what did you think of the fight itself?
So I mean, it's pretty cut and dry because of the injury, unfortunately. But
even before the injury, though, he was beating him up like pretty easily and on the ground.
Yeah,
too.
But it's more to say that everything you just said is the truth, and that going forward, that's going to be very important if Corey's going to fight for the title. Obviously, more against Merab. If he were to fight Merab, but even against Sean O'Malley too. I mean, you saw how Merab beat Sean O'Malley in the first place. So if Corey is able to play that leverage game, and even when it comes to stuffing takedowns, defending it if he needs to, I think that's going to be very super important, like it was in this fight here with Figueiredo. So
yeah, and the thing with Figgy too, like, this is a dude who has truly like elite jiu-jitsu, and the fact that Corey Sandhagen not only like was able to just beat him up on the ground, but also to kind of defend himself against some of those unorthodox positions. Figgy was working on that leg lock game a little bit, which you don't really see every day, especially at the top level in MMA, because like it's so easy to land ground and pound, as Corey Sandhagen kind of proved. But it's just like the way that he was able to kind of get that done, like kind of tweaking his knee like that while they were just mid-transition. And it really, there's sometimes where it seems like there's a guy who just injures himself accidentally, but this, in my opinion, was more so because of what Corey Sandhagen was doing. He had to get out of there, and because of the position that he kind of put himself in, because he was the one really attacking the legs on the ground, and Figueiredo putting himself in that position opened it up for Corey Sandhagen to kind of hurt his knee like that. And it was definitely an interesting finish, and I think Corey deserves all the credit because of how well he looked, or how well he did on the ground against someone like Figueiredo. And to kind of move on to the obvious talk after this, because I think both of us have referenced it at this point, I think it's fair to say that Corey Sandhagen deserves the next title shot versus the winner of Merab versus Sean O'Malley. And Petr Yan has tried to stake his claim there, and he does have one. He did beat Corey Sandhagen for the interim title a few years ago. But at the same time, Yan has also lost to Merab and Sean O'Malley. I think everybody would probably rather see a rematch with Yan and O'Malley versus Yan and Merab. But the thing is, Corey Sandhagen hasn't fought either of these guys yet, and I think both of them are fun matchups. Sandhagen-O'Malley is a fight that I think every MMA fan wants to see. But then when you think of Corey Sandhagen, especially with how he's looked lately against a guy like Merab, even if he can stuff the takedowns, you have to wonder, can he keep Merab off of him? That's kind of the problem that everybody has, because it's not like Merab's taking dudes down and keeping them there like a Khabib or Islam Makhachev. he's able to not only take guys down and keep them there, but if he can't keep them there, he's able to keep getting them there. So that's definitely an interesting puzzle to solve. And Merab has that gas tank for days. But the thing is, Corey Sandhagen, he's looked better than ever, and I think that this is the time to give him a title shot against either of these guys. So I don't know. Are you in agreement with me, or do you think that Jan maybe deserves more credit?
No, I agree. It's probably because Corey's been on that cusp like for this entire time, and now it seems like this is the best opportunity for him to break the glass ceiling and at least just get a title fight, much more or less, and then actually go win the title. So, yeah, and like you said too, Corey Sandhagen seems to be a fan favorite as well, and if Sean O'Malley won, then that fight is something that we thought we've been very close to, but it hasn't happened yet. So yeah, that's no.
It's really cut and dry with
I
this
think
fight.
he's ready. Yeah, exactly. I think he's ready for a title fight. So
I would love to see it. I mean, Corey Sandhagen is also one of those guys who he really makes MMA look like an art form. Like, he really has the art of martial arts in there because he has such a flowing style in all aspects of MMA at this point. So yeah, I would definitely agree with you. And I think that most people probably would agree. I don't think this is one of those things where we're going to get a contentious debate. But then again, who knows? We'll probably get a comment that says that Mario Bautista should fight for the title next or something. I don't know. What's up, guys? Sorry to interrupt the podcast real quick, but we have a message for you guys.
if you enjoy her Hamburg's content, you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like on the videos, all sorts of fight content as much as possible, podcasts, interviews, vlogs. We have it all over here, so thank you, appreciate it.
We appreciate you, and like he said, please subscribe. And now, back to the show. But yeah, man, let's move on to the co-main event because there's a lot to talk about here too, with Renier de Ridder versus Bo Nickal, and RDR hands Bo Nickal his first pro MMA loss, brutal TKO, capped off with that knee to the body. But it honestly, on the one hand, it seemed like it was too much too soon for Bo, but on the other hand, people forget how good Renier de Ridder actually is. And the thing is, this is a guy who's come over from one championship. He did really well over there, and he fought some pretty good competition. So, like, even when they booked this fight, I was like, from an experience perspective, it's so mismatched. But people obviously are thinking about stylistically, if Bo Nickal can take him down and keep him there, that would be a wrap for RDR. And RDR obviously isn't known for his striking, but neither is Bo Nickal at the same time. So I think a lot of people were expecting like a glorified grappling match, and we got that to an extent. But I think a lot of people were shocked that de Ridder was able to hang on the ground as well as he did against Bo Nickal. I mean, everybody knows that de Ridder has great jiu-jitsu, but everyone was thinking, well, is Bo Nickal's wrestling going to be able to overpower that? And it seemed like it wasn't. And honestly, credit to Bo Nickal too. When he was on his back, he didn't really look absolutely terrible like we've seen some wrestlers look. Sometimes you see a lot of these great wrestlers come into MMA and they get put on their back and they almost don't know what to do. But the thing is, he kind of held his own on the ground, but on the feet, it just really was a skill difference and an IQ difference. So I think that's what ultimately led to de Ridder getting the win. What did you think of it, man?
Well, so in the first round, it seems like, well, that's the thing. You could kind of tell from the jump that Bo was very reliant and heavy on just getting the fight to the ground, whether he is going for a takedown or he's stuffing a takedown. The ground is where he obviously wanted to keep the majority of the fight. And so when he scored that takedown in the first round, I mean,
I feel like he wasn't expecting de Ridder to be as confident as he was. I mean,
the jiu-jitsu just beat the wrestling, because for de Ridder to get the butterfly guard and then close the guard, get the leg lock, then sweep and gain side control, and then take the round that way because of it. And then so he not only so he hands Bo Nickal his first that's the first round that Bo Nickal's lost in MMA, and then right after he gives Bo Nickal his first loss as well with the TKO, the knee. I mean, that looked horrible.
I mean, he was hurt already, but that was
so
like,
bad, dude.
talk about a finish, dude. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah, dude. Bo definitely was not hated just how up and close and personal that was for RDR to have him in the clinch and then just start punching all up in his face, and then so Bo starts fighting back a little bit, and then Bo has nothing left to give, and then he eats the knee, and that's it. That's the end of the fight. So,
I mean, like I said, I don't think that he was expecting De Ridder to be that
the
confident.
whole fraud check thing, people are kind of anointing to Bo Nickal now. Kind of doesn't make sense to me because it's not like he got tapped out for one. I think it's just, Bo Nickal's not used to getting hit that hard. And
we have to remember too, he's literally 7-1 now in pro MMA. He's very inexperienced. He's fighting a dude in De Ridder who was a champion and won, and had fought really good competition, and at the same time is a good enough grappler where he wasn't scared of Bo Nickal's wrestling like some people are. And on the feet, Bo Nickal isn't really that good of a striker yet. But the thing is, he's still really young. He's inexperienced. He can improve on his fight IQ. He can improve on his striking. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that the fraud check label that's been put on this fight is honestly a bad one, because not only does it take away from Bo Nickal's ability to improve as an athlete, but it also takes away from De Ridder's win, and I don't think De Ridder deserves that because he's such a good fighter.
Yeah,
I think
De Ridder
is
definitely ready for a Sean Strickland, like he called out.
Yeah, I like that call out too. That's a smart matchup because Strickland's a better striker, but if Rainier can get him down, man, that could be a really fun one. I do hope that they make that fight because that'd be a really good one. Smart call out. De Ridder's had quite the run so far in the UFC. I mean, his debut, he had that nice win over Gerald Meerschaert. Then he submitted Kevin Holland at UFC 311, and now he hands Bo Nickal his first career loss. And it just seems like he's been able to move so seamlessly through the middleweight division. And I think it's time to give this dude a real top contender.
Yeah, he's big for a middleweight too. I mean, Bo Nickal said he came in. He bulked like crazy. He came in like a crazy amount pounds overweight. But so that goes to show you that De Ridder's really not that far.
Yeah, definitely.
Despite how soon he came into not how soon, but how fast things are moving for him already. I mean, he has 3 fights in the span of a year.
And I think all finishes, right? Because, the win over Meerschaert, that was a finish. So, he's been unbelievable so far in the UFC. And I definitely expected him to make some waves, but I didn't expect him to be quite like this. So, to see a guy come in from another organization and do what he's been able to do, it's been really fun because, he's not quite the personality and showman that someone like Michael Chandler is, but I mean, right now De Ridder already has more wins in the UFC than Michael Chandler does, and it's been much shorter time. So I think it's time to start giving De Ridder the respect that he's deserved since he stepped foot in the UFC, and I'm glad that it seems like he's starting to get it. But you're gonna have those Bo Nickal haters out there that are gonna try and detract from it, but I don't think they should do that. But overall, another fun card, and I'm glad that the UFC is getting back on the road, man, more and more, because the atmosphere for all of these fights has been so much better. And now next week too, we have a nice pay-per-view out there in Montreal, and that's going to be a fun one. We have 2 title fights, Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. That'll answer a lot of questions at welterweight and probably lightweight if you think about it. Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fior. That's a huge fight for the flyweight division and its future. Jose Aldo is fighting our boy Ara Hawani's twin, Ayman Zahabi. That should be an interesting fight.
Someone actually over on TikTok let me know that you look like JDM if he had
I do.
without the damage. Yeah.
Without the damage. Yeah, I don't. My nose isn't like shattered and facing one way. Maybe if I start training with you guys, I can change that. But I don't know. Like you said this during the live pod.
Comment
That might
below.
be my John Anik.
After you like and subscribe, comment below if you agree. Who does Rob really look like? Is it JDM or is it somebody else in the UFC?
I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. I've gotten a lot of interesting comparisons in the past. At one point, when I shaved like the sides of my beard and I just had the mustache and the goatee, I had someone call me Walter White. And I thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, I'll take that. I know he's like 50 years old and I'm 23, but I'll take it. Why not, man? But yeah, this is going to be a really fun card. And then also, speaking of flyweight, because I mentioned that before, Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. That's a really fun matchup. Two really good strikers in there. So overall, should be a pretty interesting card. I think it's going to be tough comparing it to the last couple of pay-per-views because we've had some huge names and some fun fights. But overall, a lot of really important fights on this one. And yeah, it'll be fun to cover a pay-per-view again next week for you guys. So until then, see y'all.